Hello and welcome to another episode of Tony's Travelogue. Today I'm in Sydney again and going to places of reflection and thought that are significant around this city. I'm outside St James Church on the edge of the city, and there's a sculpture sitting outside the church of a person sleeping rough on a park bench. There's no plaque to tell you anything about the sculpture. It just sits here. And next to the sculpture there's space to come and sit. So come with me. Let's sit by this sculpture for a moment to reflect and ponder and be challenged. On my way to this particular place, I had to pass through St James Station, and the floors along the station are covered with bed camps and sleeping spots for people who are sleeping rough. What personal possessions they have are stored in trolleys, cases, etc., right along the corridor. And here, outside the commercial heart of Sydney, outside the law courts in fact, opposite the church are the Sydney law courts, we have this sculpture. Now, most people would probably recognise it as a sculpture of a person sleeping rough on a park bench. But it's only when you come close and come down here and notice the feet. So the feet of this sculpture are wounded. This is a sculpture of the suffering Christ. This is a sculpture that invites us as people of Christian faith to see Christ, not simply on the inside of the church, but here, where we encounter and are invited to sit with and share life with some of the most vulnerable people of our city. I don't know that this sculpture attracts a lot of attention. In fact, there's a few spider webs around it, as if no one's cared much for the sculpture or taken any interest in it. This is one of the few copies of this particular type of sculpture which is featured in churches and public spaces right around the world. I think there are a couple of others in Australia. I'm not sure where they are, but I certainly know this is the only one I'm aware of in Sydney. So I invite you, when you're in Sydney, come by, sit by this sculpture, reflect on the circumstances, the structures that leave people sleeping rough, the lack of adequate housing, the lack of adequate support services for those living with mental health issues. So many issues that you and I can address through our participation in the political process and our commitment to social change. Thanks for being with me on this episode. I look forward to sharing more with you.